you believe that there is a nation as small as a tennis court with just 2 citizens living on an abandoned steel fortress in the middle of the sea? That is Sealand, the most bizarre self-proclaimed nation in the world. It has not only fended off mercenaries, but also issued passports and even sold noble titles. A dramatic and extraordinary story awaits your discovery. During the darkest days of World War II, when the specter of fascism loomed over England's skies, a bold idea was conceived. Instead of merely building bunkers or air raid shelters, the British took it a step further. They decided to extend their defenses into the open sea. In 1942, from ambitious engineering blueprints, a series of steel giants began to rise amidst the deep blue waters of the North Sea. These floating forts were unlike anything else in Britain's military defense history. Standing like steel warriors, these forts were designed to be the first eyes and shields to protect the homeland from the claws of Nazi Germany. Among these steel soldiers was one that entered history in the most unexpected way, the Ruff's Tower. Located about 7.5 miles, or about 12 kilometers, off the coast of Suffolk, this fortress stood like a steel eagle, keeping watch over every enemy movement across the sea. When the guns of World War II fell silent, the fate of these floating fortresses seemed sealed. They would become silent relics of a dark era. Like its counterparts, Ruff's Tower was abandoned in the tempestuous waters of the North Sea. But unlike the others that faded into oblivion, Ruff's Tower harbored a destiny no one could have foreseen, becoming the territory of one of the world's most unique self-proclaimed nations. In February 1965, Ruff's Tower welcomed some unusual visitors. Jack Moore and his daughter Jane, pioneers of pirate radio, transformed this steel fortress into a hub of free broadcasting. They aired rock tracks banned on the mainland, lively pop tunes that the BBC refused to play. It was the golden age of free radio, a former DJ recalled. We broadcast from the sea, beyond the reach of land-based laws. Every song we played was a declaration of freedom. However, the destiny of Ruff's Tower took an even stranger turn in early autumn of 1967. Paddy Roy Bates, a colorful character with a background as an army major and a pirate radio DJ, set foot on the fortress. Initially, he intended to continue the pirate radio tradition with his own Radio Essex. But then, an idea sparked: why not create a country? Perhaps that was the thought echoing in Bates's mind as he realized he was standing on no man's land, outside of the United Kingdom's 3 nautical mile territorial waters. And so, in a dramatic moment, the Principality of Sealand was born, with its first self-proclaimed prince, Roy the Far. Naturally, the British government could not ignore this rebellion. In 1968, when workers were sent to install navigation buoys near the fortress, Michael Bates, Paddy Roy Bates's son and Sealand's young prince, fired warning shots to deter them. This act not only demonstrated their determination to defend their territory, but also made a bold statement about the right of self-defense for the new nation. The situation escalated further when Paddy Roy Bates was brought to trial. However, in a surprising twist, the court declared it had no jurisdiction over the case since Sealand was outside of British territorial waters. This ruling inadvertently became an important legal precedent, strengthening the independence of the tiny kingdom and reinforcing the Bates family's claim of sovereignty. Sealand spans an incredibly modest area of approximately 5,120 square feet, which is 550 square meters, about the size of a standard tennis court. Its entire territory rests on the Ruff's Tower, a sturdy concrete structure built during World War II. This limited space is divided into small sections for daily living and administrative activities for Paddy Roy Bates's family. Shortly after declaring independence in 1967, the Bates family quickly established the symbols of Sealand's sovereignty, transforming the abandoned fortress into a self-proclaimed nation with all the trappings of statehood. The entire territory of Sealand consists of a wide steel deck atop 2 massive concrete pillars submerged in the sea. Despite the confined space, it has been divided into small areas for living, working, and hosting occasional visitors. Sealand's national flag, with its striking diagonal stripes of red, white, and black, symbolizes resilience and unwavering independence amid the vast ocean. Its national anthem, titled E Mare Libertas, from the sea freedom, embodies the spirit of breaking free from the constraints of other nations. Sealand has even issued its own currency, the Sealand dollar, pegged to the United States dollar, but primarily serving as a collectible. To further assert its independence, Sealand issued passports for a time, though this was later restricted after some passports were misused by illicit organizations. In the 1970s, Sealand housed up to 50 residents, mostly friends and individuals seeking to escape British governmental control. However, in 1978, Sealand became the target of a dramatic coup attempt. A German businessman named Alexander Achenbach, who proclaimed himself Prime Minister of Sealand, hired a group of mercenaries to seize control of the fortress. Achenbach aimed to transform Sealand into an international business hub, exploiting its unique legal status. Taking advantage of Paddy Roy Bates's absence, the mercenaries stormed the fortress and captured Michael Bates, holding him hostage. The coup seemed successful until the Bates family mounted a daring counterattack. Paddy Roy Bates and his loyal supporters launched a bold operation by sea. Using small arms and fast boats, they recaptured the fortress. The mercenaries were overwhelmed and swiftly taken prisoner. After regaining control, the Bates family held the invaders as prisoners of war, even demanding ransom for Achenbach's release. The situation escalated to the point where the German government dispatched a diplomat to negotiate. The Bates family viewed this official negotiation as tacit recognition of Sealand's sovereignty by Germany. In 2007, Sealand once again captured international attention when it was put up for sale online. After decades of maintaining and defending Sealand, the Bates family decided to seek potential investors or a suitable buyer to take over this one-of-a-kind nation. The announcement of Sealand's sale appeared on numerous international websites with an asking price of 10 million United States dollars. The Bates family emphasized that this was not merely the purchase of a property in the middle of the sea, but a unique opportunity to own a self-proclaimed nation, complete with its own flag, currency, and passports. At the time, Sealand was described as an ideal location for developing offshore business projects or becoming a tech hub, leveraging its position beyond the reach of major governments' control. Although the listing generated significant interest from international media and investors, no deal was ever finalized. Sealand remained under the Bates family's management, continuing to symbolize the spirit of freedom and independence declared by Paddy Roy Bates in 1967. Lacking natural resources or a traditional economy, Sealand devised unique ways to generate income and sustain its existence. One of its most curious and successful ventures was selling noble titles to anyone in the world. The Bates family created titles such as Lord, Lady, and Count, and allowed people to purchase them online. For a fee ranging from a few hundred to several thousand United States dollars, buyers would receive an official certificate confirming their title from Sealand. This not only helped fund Sealand's operations, but also attracted those who cherished its uniqueness and relished the chance to own a piece of nobility from the tiny nation. In addition to selling titles, Sealand ventured into the field of data storage services. Positioned in international waters with a unique legal status, Sealand was seen by some technology companies and individuals as an ideal location for hosting servers, far from government control and international regulations. This turned Sealand into one of the most intriguing and secretive offshore data centers. In 1980, the introduction of the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS, changed the legal landscape for Sealand. The convention extended coastal nations' territorial waters from 3 nautical miles, which is 5.5 kilometers, to 12 nautical miles, about 22 kilometers, from their shores. This development inadvertently placed Sealand within the United Kingdom's newly defined territorial waters, posing a significant challenge to the self-proclaimed nation. Previously, Rove's Tower's location beyond the 3 nautical mile limit was a critical legal factor that helped the Bates family assert their independence. However, under the new regulations, Sealand officially fell within the 12 nautical mile territorial waters of the United Kingdom. The British government, which had never recognized Sealand, quickly seized this opportunity to reaffirm its claim that Ruff's Tower fell under its jurisdiction, dismissing any declarations of independence by Sealand. Despite this new maritime law undermining Sealand's legal standing, the Bates family remained steadfast in defending their claim to independence. Paddy Roy Bates and his family argued Sealand's sovereignty was declared before the UN Convention. They contended that the new maritime laws could not retroactively apply to Sealand's prior declaration of independence. Sealand met the criteria of a sovereign state. Since 1967, Sealand had its own government, national flag, currency, and official passports. According to the Bates family, this clearly demonstrated Sealand's existence as an independent entity, despite ongoing legal disputes. Under mounting pressure from the British government, the Bates family held firm. They continued to manage Ruff's Tower as a symbol of freedom and independence. Today, Sealand is no longer as bustling as it was in its early days. Most members of the Bates family have returned to the mainland to pursue more stable lives, particularly to focus on the education and development of the younger generation. Currently, only 2 people are tasked with guarding and managing the fortress. Despite their small numbers, these individuals hold impressive titles such as Director of Homeland Security or Fortress Manager, reflecting the importance of their roles. While life on Ruff's Tower remains harsh, it is no longer entirely isolated. Sealand is now equipped with internet access and maintains an active presence on social media to connect with the outside world. The Bates family has cleverly tapped into Sealand's commercial potential through an online souvenir shop, selling items bearing the self-proclaimed nation's symbols. These unique memorabilia have attracted global interest as part of Sealand's fascinating and peculiar history. However, Sealand has yet to become a true tourist destination due to numerous limitations. Ruff's Tower is isolated in the North Sea with limited infrastructure and an unconventional entry point via an automated pulley system. An extraordinary but challenging experience not suitable for everyone. Moreover, the harsh conditions of the North Sea, with strong winds, high waves, and unpredictable weather, particularly in winter, make access to Sealand difficult and potentially dangerous. Inside the fortress, the cramped couloirs and aging concrete architecture offer little to explore beyond panoramic ocean views and the unique historical story. For those fortunate enough to receive special visas, a journey to Sealand can still be made. Prince Michael Bates, the current ruler of Sealand, personally welcomes visitors by boat from the English coastline. The trip takes approximately 30 minutes, carrying guests from the mainland to the fortress in the middle of the sea, where they can witness and explore one of the world's smallest self-proclaimed nations. The future of Sealand remains uncertain, but its story will always stand as a vivid testament to human resilience, creativity, and determination. With an area of just 5,920 square feet, or about 500 square meters, Sealand has carved out a unique place in modern history, a story that continues to intrigue and inspire the world. What do you think? If offered a noble title from Sealand, would you dare to become a citizen of this tiny nation? Share your thoughts in the comments, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel for more fascinating stories.